Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again for another video. Yes, I had to take a break to talk to y'all. So, question of the day is, did the Dallas Cowboys get better after this draft? Now, that's a hard question to ask because it's a hard question to answer, I should say, because the simple fact that we ain't played a game of football yet. We haven't really seen these guys practice together as a team, so we really don't have a gauge on it. But I'm going to give you guys some scenarios just for the hell of it. So, first of all, that whole draft grading thing is a bunch of BS because, in my opinion, you can't really grade your draft at least till after the first season because you get to see what your young players have done, how they contributed to your team, so on and so forth. So you really can't get a good gauge of what these guys are going to do because even some guys that are graded really high end up become bust, or they don't do anything, or they get season-ending injuries in training camp and they don't even get to play. You know, look what happened with Dante Fowler when he first got in the league. I mean, things happen. You know what I mean? Like, so again, you just want to make sure that all your players are healthy. And granted, this is football. People are going to get injured. This is the reason why you get depth on your team. And speaking of which, I think that in this draft, we did get a lot of depth. And I will say, and I am confident enough to say that this season, we should go to the playoffs. Nothing less than the playoffs this year. That is what I agree with. The talent that we have on paper right now, just looking at these guys and doing research on how they play and what they can bring to the table, potentially, I'm excited about it. I'm happy about it. Again, it's really all contingent upon what players stay, what players go, what the coaching staff is going to use with these players and how creative they are with using said players that we have, especially Tavon Austin. He's going to be a big one when it comes to being creative because if they're talking about moving him to running back or making him a hybrid wide receiver running back, kind of like Green Bay did with Ty Montgomery, you got to be creative with it because I'm telling you, Tavon can be a monster for us if we use him the right way. And also, too, he has a fumble history. I mentioned this before. If he don't fumble the ball, we good. Got to hold on to that ball. I seen a clip of his first day of practice with the Cowboys. He has some burst to him, some quickness, and he definitely looks like he's ready to go. So Dak has been working with the wide receivers and stuff like that, and especially Allen Hurns. So I think we're going to get good production out of Allen, and especially our wide receiver core in general, because our wide receiver core is going to look hella different than it did last year, first of all. So a lot of teams are not going to know how to play us. The good thing about not having Dez on that receiving core right now is the simple fact that, like, Dak doesn't have to worry about, oh, I didn't get Dez enough, I didn't get him enough targets, or I didn't get him the ball enough, or this, that, and the third. He didn't get his yards that he was supposed to, blah, blah. Now that we have a bunch of players that are not known and players that, you know, are known, but they're not big on production as far as we don't have any diva wide receivers anymore. So with that being said, Dak can just throw the ball around to the open player. He doesn't have to worry about trying to get it to one specific player. He can concentrate more on getting the ball where it needs to be. And that's the most important thing, getting that ball where it needs to be. Because at the end of the day, winning games football is a team sport. There's been so many teams that had that one player on the team that was dominant and everybody else wasn't, or everybody else was average. But because they were so focused on that one individual, they couldn't win games. So I feel like if you have a bunch, to me, quality is more important than quantity. So I feel like even though we do have quantity too, because we got a lot of wide receivers, but, you know, all these guys are not going to make the team. So saying that, I say that to say that I think that we're going to be a playoff team this year. I am optimistic about what we have going on. I'm pretty sure we filled that need at linebacker. Leighton Vander Esch, if they keep him clean, if they keep that, they keep them lanes open, he's gonna get some good tackles. If he has to start going up against these, offensive linemen for these other teams, and he's got to take on blocks, we're not gonna see the Leighton Vander Esch that we know he can see. His strength is getting out there and thumping and hitting the running back, hitting the receiver, hitting whoever got the damn ball. So again, those are his strengths. I mean, he's a big guy. He's definitely, I mean, 6'5". He's the biggest linebacker we got on the team right now. So I think under the tutelage of Sean Lee and learning under those guys, Leighton should be good for this team. I think that Leighton is one of those type of linebackers that he couldn't play for every team. You got to have a specific scheme for him, and I think that he fits with the mold of the Cowboys and what we're doing with our defense and stuff like that. So I think that's the reason why the Cowboys were so high on him to begin with. A lot of people didn't do a lot of research on him before because of the simple fact that, hell, me on my mock draft, I didn't even have him in the first round. I had him high second or mid second. But, that just goes to show you that, hey, I'm not a professional scout. I'm just a guy that, loves football, and I do a lot of research and I do a lot of studying. So I try to gain as much knowledge as I can. Like I said, I'm not a scout. I don't get paid for this. This is just something I do to try to, get a different perspective on stuff, because I feel like even with us YouTubers and stuff like that, like the way that we work trying to get information out and stuff like that, I believe in a lot of ways is more informative because we don't have no reason to BS because this is not a job for us. We're not getting paid for this. So we don't have to like follow any type of narrative. We can do it however we feel. And that's the good thing about this whole freelancing YouTuber thing. I believe that, it's another venue for fans to gain some knowledge on their football team or just sports in general, because you got a lot of guys out there that cover basketball and baseball and hockey and soccer. So, it's all a positive thing in my opinion. So I'm all for, everybody that's blogging and YouTubing and doing their thing. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. But Leighton, like I said, I was not happy with the pick at first. Not because of him per se, but because we had so many other players that were there that we could have picked. Like the Redskins, they went and got Daron Payne. Daron Payne is going to be good for the Redskins. So, again, we have to look at also what the NFC East is doing and what they have done in the draft. And we have to make sure that, like, when we're playing and we have the right guys on the field to match up with these other teams. Because, again, winning your division is important. Because if you can't win your division or you can't get through your division, you can't make it to the Super Bowl because you got to defeat your division first. I mean, it's levels to this, y'all. And I feel like another big thing is that a lot of people don't realize this, but getting that offensive lineman, Connor Williams, is huge. Because remember, guys, he was a first-round talent. He was a first-round talent. So to get Connor Williams in the second round after you just got Leighton Vander Esch, that was big for the Cowboys. And I feel like that he's going to be a hella immediate impact on this team, considering the fact that we need somebody at that guard position because Cooper is not here anymore. Now, plugging him right there, I swear, if he does real well in training camp and he wins that starting guard position, we will be solidified because we got backup plans. We got your boy Fleming from the Patriots in the offseason. We got Marcus Martin. We still got Joe Looney. And I know a lot of you guys don't like Chaz Green, but Chaz Green is still on this team. So, again, we have depth now on this offensive line. So, if you're not happy about it, then you need to figure it out because I know Zeke is happy. I cannot wait till this team get together and they start having team practices and stuff because I want to see things. I want to see all this come together. And if it comes together like I think it will, we're going to be good this year. And I said I expect nothing less than the playoffs this year. Nothing less. The other guys that we have, Covington, Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz, he's not a Jason Witten, and you know a lot of people aren't. Jason Witten is a future Hall of Famer, but he definitely is a balanced tight end, and with the right coaching, he could definitely be a really good tight end in this league in the future. I don't see him, you know, doing anything special starting off, but I think that after a year or two in this system, he should be okay. I think that we might need to go out and get a veteran tight end. I think I heard that the Chargers cut Antonio Gates. I don't know if we're going to get an older player like that. I don't think they want to stump any of these young guys' growth. I think that the mantra of this team right now is to get younger and to get these young guys up and just get them out there and play. Not because we're not rebuilding. We have pieces on this team. We got a lot of them. It's just that, you know, the players that we have in these young positions, we just got to get them out there and play, because you don't get better unless you play. Practice makes perfect. Playing a game gets you even better. Them two wide receivers that we got, Cedric Wilson and Michael Gallup, hand clap to that. Smooth route runners. These guys, now, Gallup could definitely be a day one starter. Cedric can too if he shows that he has the skills in training camp. But again, like I said before in my last video, you either ball or go home. So that's where we're at right now. We didn't address safety in the draft. I don't know if that's because they're still trying to pursue Earl Thomas. I don't know. It's just like with the Dez situation. I'm so sick of talking about this situation. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, hey, get these young guys out here and let's go to work. These undrafted free agents that we have, I want to say like 3 or 4 of them are going to be good. I mean, some of them, I'm looking at some of their stats and some of the stuff that they did in college with these undrafted guys. I'm like, why did they not get drafted? Like, what happened? Maybe because they went to small schools, and I don't know what it is with the NFL. They don't love small schools. I mean, hell, I went to a small school too. I went to Bowie State. I think there's only one person that in my era that I know that went to the NFL from my college, and that was Isaac Redman. Isaac Redman graduated with me. He played for, if you know who he is, he played running back for the Steelers for a couple of years, and then he had a back spinal cord injury or whatever, so he had to retire early. But yeah, he was a bruiser of a running back. I mean, he was really good when he played, but you know, they don't show no love for the small schools. I don't know what that is, what the reason for that is, but hell, it is what it is. But I will say that that's one particular safety that we got, Kyle Carrero. Can't pronounce his last name, but I was watching some of his tape. That boy, he's like 6'3". He's not really that fast. He ran a 4.7, and that's another reason why he probably didn't get drafted, because you know he's not that fast. But I'm telling you, he's still got athleticism, and he's tall and rangy and got long arms, and he can get that ball up out the air. I'm telling you, like, I'm excited to see him on the field and see what he could do. If he can make this team as an undrafted player, hey, you got safety depth. I want to see what Jamil Showers does too, because you guys forget that when they moved him from quarterback to safety, he's still at safety, and he's had a little time to learn the position. So we'll see what he does too. So I mean, there's still room for improvement in a lot of different places on this team. We're not done yet. I'm pretty sure the Cowboys might make some more moves this offseason before we get into OTAs and training camp. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, last thing I want to say before I end this, we are, I know that we're going to be a much different team this year. I can't really answer the question on whether we're going to be better right now, but I know if you look at us on paper, you can assume that. But I think that we will be better because I expect us to go to the playoffs. We didn't go to the playoffs last year, even with being 9-7. So if we can be at least a 10-win team, I believe that we can do some things. So let's push for that, y'all. Let's stay positive on this team and keep supporting our Dallas Cowboys. Win, lose, or draw, that's what we're here for. We are the fan base, and if you're a true fan, you're going to be there through thick and thin. And you already know, it's so hard being a Dallas Cowboy fan because we're one of the most ridiculed teams out there, the most hated team in the league. But still, we are America's team, and we got to live up to that. So with that being said, it's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. E2 Blue, always keep it real. Thanks again to all my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, support your boy. With that being said, I'll talk to y'all soon.